Hello, everybody. This is a special interview for me. I'm here with a friend of mine, and he's the first person from this country that I'm interviewing. He's from Palestine. He lives in Gaza. He's a student of mine and also a teacher. He's Ahmed. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Mr. Rod. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. It's always nice to be talking to you. Could you tell my audience, my dear friend, when your story with the English language has begun?
Yes, sure thing. Okay, first I would like to thank you, Mr. Rod, for giving me this opportunity
My
to
pleasure.
be up here with you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my story started when I was in the ninth grade or
Mm-hmm.
10th grade. I can't remember.
Yes.
Uh, I was so bad in English. Like every year I fail in English
Mm-hmm.
tests.
Yeah.
So one day
Mm-hmm.
I downloaded the Facebook app in my
Mm-hmm.
phone, and it was new for
Mm-hmm.
my age. And I started sending like a friend request for random people around the world, and luckily some of them, like one of them were from Spain, and
Mm-hmm.
he texted me, like he said hi, and I replied to him hi again, and I couldn't say anything more. Like
Mm-hmm.
he asked me how are you. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't answer him very well. So from that moment I decided to learn English in order to talk with that person, because I really wanted to know
Mm-hmm.
someone from Spain. So
Mm-hmm.
I started learning the basic questions, like how are you, like where are you from, how
Mm-hmm.
old are you.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, from that moment, I loved English. I loved English from that person. He was so nice. He was like so patient with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I started entering like public centers here in Gaza in order to improve my English
Mm-hmm.
language. I took 11 or 12 levels in
Mm-hmm.
English, and I was just like, like in 2 years I
Mm-hmm.
finished 12 levels in English, and I was in the scientific stream that
Mm-hmm.
moment. And after the high school graduation, I sat with my mother and I told her, "Oh, mom, I don't want to study something related to science. I want to study English because I love
Mm-hmm.
it. As you know, we have like 4 years at university, and I want something that I love.
Mm-hmm.
And English is the subject that I love. And in
Mm-hmm.
the high school exam,
Mm-hmm.
I took like 95 from 100 marks. So it was like great for me. I was like the first one in my family to get that mark
Mm-hmm.
in English. So from that
Mm-hmm.
moment, I started learning English,
Mm-hmm.
and every year I get improved, and like every year I send more friend
Mm-hmm.
requests for people from outside to talk more and more and improve my English language.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's how I started learning English.
When did you decide to be a teacher? When
Ah,
did you decide to teach English?
okay. You will not believe this, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the second year for me at university,
Mm-hmm.
there was a center here in Gaza. There was
Mm-hmm.
like an announcement that for students
Mm-hmm.
from university, there is a special course for
Mm-hmm.
them in conversation. So
Okay.
I was like, I wanted to go to that center in order to take that course. Like it was for free. So in the interview, there were two teachers. One of
Mm-hmm.
them, she was like, her name is Iman, and she's the one who like brought me into teaching. So in
Mm-hmm.
that moment and that interview,
Mm-hmm.
she asked me a lot of questions. And after we finished that interview, she told me, "Okay, Ahmad, we don't want you as a student. We want you as a teacher because you have a good accent, you have great skills." And I was in my second year at university. Can you believe this? I
Yes.
I was like What? No, I'm not
Mhm.
like that. I'm still like learner. So
Yes.
from that moment, she promised me. She told me like, we will hire you one day. You will be a teacher here
Mhm.
one day. And after
Yes.
2 years from that interview, they called
Mhm.
me. They told me, Ahmad, we want you as a teacher. We promised you,
Mhm.
and stage is yours.
Mhm.
And every teacher, when he take a class, by the way, he take like the seventh grade or eighth
Mhm.
grade or even ninth grade.
Mhm.
But I took from the first year, I took like 6 grades, like fifth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade,
Yes.
till the high
Mhm.
school students. So it was like
Mhm.
a lot of pressure on me. I
Mhm.
was giving 6 hours
Mhm.
preparing for my classes and 6 hours
Mhm.
to give my classes. Like,
Mhm.
it was very hard for me for the
Yes.
first year. And from that moment, after I finished a year there, I started to focus on
Mhm.
high school students because I found myself
Mhm.
there. It was like I was so happy
Yeah.
teaching them because students here, especially in Gaza, are not
Mhm.
like open-minded. Like they are
Mhm.
not open to the word. They can't speak English to foreigners or
Mhm.
even to anyone from outside. We can't travel abroad because of we are having an occupation, and everybody knows that. But
Mhm.
they are so weak, and they wanted like a teacher who make them love English and make it easier for him or for them.
Mhm. What is a memorable moment as a teacher for you?
One of great memories that I had as a
Mhm.
teacher
Mhm.
in Almond Center or at Almond
Yeah.
Center was when there was like two students. They were
Mhm.
like very weak,
Mhm.
very very weak. They don't even know the alphabets.
Mhm.
They can't differ between U and Y. So the mothers come up to me and she begged me literally, and she said, "Oh, uh, you are our hope.
Mhm.
Like everyone is talking about you, everyone is talking about Ahmad and how he's teaching students,
Mhm.
and we want you to help them."
Mhm.
For me, I do not take the very weak students. Like I give them a test, and according
Mhm.
to that test, I brought them to my classes. But
Yes.
those two students,
Mhm.
I accepted them as a challenge for me.
Mhm.
So in that moment, I tried everything I could in order
Mhm.
to make them pass the high school exam. And Alhamdulillah, luckily,
Yes.
uh, when the like after the year, like when they get the
Mhm.
marks from the school,
Mhm.
they they passed English exam, and it was like no
Mhm.
one accepted that, or as if no one like uh, no one like expected that to happen.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
in that moment, they come up to my center, they bring
Mhm.
sweets for me, and the mother was there too, and we were celebrating, and it was a great moment for me. I
That's.
think this is the most beautiful memory for all teachers to see their
Mhm.
students like passing exams.
Yeah.
But those two students were so special for me
Yeah.
because they were like we worked very hard together, and
Mhm.
during their study here in Gaza, we witnessed a war,
Mhm.
and I didn't stop with them. I brought them in my house. You
Mhm.
know, like we studied a lot,
Mhm.
and it was like a very touching moments when we
It
get the
was
mark.
a unique moment, we would
Yes,
say. Yeah.
yes, yes.
You're also a journalist. How do you bring together English and journalism at the same time?
Yes, sure thing. You know, I've never imagined myself working as
Mhm.
a journalist.
Mhm.
Never. But
Yes.
after the first war in Gaza,
Mhm.
I felt that Gaza was crying for my help. Like, literally, there was no one, like, very few people who are speaking English.
Yes.
There is no one can describe what is happening here to
Mhm.
the news, especially for the Western news. There was no one, and I started in my second year after the second war, I
Mhm.
started to focus in sending the message that Israeli occupation is squeezing about Gaza. You know,
Mhm.
they spread lies about us. So I
Mhm.
started on Twitter as an activist. I
Mhm.
started posting in war,
Mhm.
and there was like I had a very big number of followers in the first
Mhm.
year. But when the other side saw my page and how it reflect, they blocked me and they deleted my account.
Yes.
And I tried again and I make another one and another
Mhm.
one and another one. Then till I have like 10 accounts on Twitter. And in that moment, I decided that I can make this bigger. I can make a team of activists. So there was an agency here, as a
Mhm.
network agency.
Mhm.
They chose me to make a team, like an
Mhm.
English speakers team.
Mhm.
So I made my first team, and I named it as Kufiya. Kufiya means the scarf that the Palestinians wear. It's a
Mhm.
scarf special
Mhm.
for Palestinians. So
Yes.
that was our name, Kufiya. We were
Mhm.
50 students. All
Mhm.
of them are English students, and
Yes.
we started to make like to work
Mhm.
as a one, to make campaigns, to make
Mhm.
Twitter storms in order to let
Mhm.
people know what is happening here in Gaza,
Mhm.
especially for our people in presence, especially for our people who are, you know, that UN or UNRWA said that Gaza will not be livable or not a good place to live in 2020, and now we are 2022.
Mhm.
So the situation here in Gaza is so hard, and is we are trying as students to make a change. And in that moment, other people saw how great is that team is.
Mhm.
So we are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and now
Mhm.
we are having like four teams.
Mhm.
We have Palestine Online team. We
Mhm.
have Voices of Palestine team. We have
Mhm.
Act for Palestine, and we have
Mhm.
Kufia and Palestine Defense Forces. Like, you
Mhm.
know, so we have five teams now, and we are talking about
Yes.
Palestine, and I'm a content writer,
Yes.
and also on wars. I walk on the field. I
Mhm.
took my phone and record what is happening in the streets. I make
Yeah.
interviews, and you know.
As an English teacher, now
Mhm.
you're going to be heard everywhere. What is the advice that you would give for a student to stay motivated to keep learning English?
Yes. Um, my first advice will be that you need to love English first. Because if you
Yes.
don't love English, you will never be good in it.
Yes.
Because you know, when you love something, you do your
Mhm.
best in order to
Yes.
achieve it. And
Mhm.
my advice, as nowadays we have a lot of social media platforms and
Mhm.
we have a lot of apps that can
Mhm.
help you.
Mhm.
My chance or my advice will be like hear a lot, listen a lot for
Mhm.
uh, for English speakers,
Mhm.
like native speakers, and don't
Mhm.
don't focus on the accent. The accent
Mhm.
comes like without even know that you will have an accent. So
Yes.
focus on learning the culture itself, you
Yes.
know, learning the body language of
Yes.
the speaker, learning a lot of things, not only
Mhm.
the grammar and
Mhm.
you know, how to say this
Mhm.
or that. No, just focus on the culture,
Mhm.
involve yourself in that culture, and you will
Mhm.
be like you can talk with a friend every day, like hi, hello, how are you, and every day you have new questions, you have new discussions, and that
Mhm.
will help you a lot.
Mhm.
Yes. So listen,
Awesome.
listen, listen.
I
Mhm.
would like to bring something that is really great that I can see. It has a name. It is very special, and it's a little human being called Omar. Who's Omar?
Omar, my
Who's Omar?
sunshine.
Could you tell my
Yes.
audience who Omar is?
Uh, Omar is the one who makes me like love my life.
Mm-hmm.
Omar is everything for me. He's my son. He's my
Yes.
1.5 year son, and he is literally everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've never imagined myself as a father, especially here in Gaza. But when he came to me, like in the
Mm-hmm.
first day, I felt that I'm another person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Ahmed. I'm not the boy
Mm-hmm.
Ahmed who was like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I became a father, and I knew that when I looked in his eyes, and now he's
Mm-hmm.
saying Baba, which means like
Yeah.
dad in English.
Yeah.
And every time I come up to my house, he's
Mm.
uh, like saying hello with his uh, open hands and
Mm.
with his great smile to me. When
Mm.
I see his smile, I can see that I'm not tired anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and I can do what Hulk can. I can do
Yeah.
everything.
I can tell you
Yes.
one thing. That is a pleasure because you come to the sessions on Hello Talk every day, and
Mhm.
Omar is along with you. And that's why everybody in chat, because we have a great community on Hello Talk,
Mhm.
and they decided, actually, I decided, and everybody liked to have Omar as a mascot, and he really is. It's so nice to see him there. It's a pleasure when we have somebody to fight for. It's really priceless, it's
Yes.
a really good thing, because it's not easy to educate a human being. I know how that feels because I have a teenage son and I have a preschooler. Do you know about tough love?
Tough
Well,
love.
tough love is an expression that when your heart wants to say yes, but your mind says that you have to say no. So it's called tough love.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
when you have to go through tough love and tell your child, no, I can't help you with this because you are still learning and
Mhm.
you have a lot to learn. Tough love is one of the worst periods of education for me, but it's necessary.
Mm.
So Omar is so lovely. A father has to love their son unconditionally, or their sons and daughters unconditionally. And I think that's what you do. That's what we have to do. That's what I try to do every day. I love them unconditionally and I work like crazy for them. And I think you do the same. I think
Okay.
that's
Thank
the
you.
meaning of parenthood. That's the meaning of fatherhood. I agree
Yes.
with you very much on that. Okay?
Okay. Thank you,
Well,
Mr.
I
Ross.
think now that we are going to the funniest part of the interview, the rapid round game, and I'm going to start, and then I go on the hot seat and you ask me the questions.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
If I had to describe myself in one word, that word would be
Fighter.
fighter. Good. English is
Life.
the most beautiful word in English for me is
Uh, possible.
my family is
Uh, is everything.
my son
Everything
is.
from my sunshine.
If I could make a change in the world, that change would be
Stopping wars.
good. Um, the most beautiful word in Arabic language for me is
In Arabic, تسامح, which means peace.
okay.
تسامح.
If I was to die tomorrow, I would like to be remembered
As as a good teacher, a good father, a good son.
good. Now, I am on the hot seat and you can ask me whatever you want.
Okay, okay. English for me is
My life.
My letter son for me is.
The last one, because we only have two, he's very lively. And my
Mhm.
older son, I have to talk about him or else he's gonna be jealous. He has something that I really admire. He has determination. When he wants something, he
Mhm.
goes and gets it in a responsible way.
If you have Alauddin Lamb,
I have three wishes, all right?
yes,
So I would ask for peace, harmony, and friendship.
your students for you are
I learn from them most of the
mhm,
time.
a good word or advice that you will never forget.
When you are talking to someone, look into their eyes and be humble and be honest.
Who told you that?
My father, like in the part of humbleness and part of being a decent person. I learned so much from him and from my mom in that part.
Your mother is.
My mother is a fortress, I guess.
Yes.
We got to the end of this interview. And for every guest, I have a sentence, a quote, and a takeaway. And I chose a very important quote for me from a song from Michael Jackson where it says, if you want to make a change, look at yourself in the mirror and be the change. So that's what you're doing, that's what you do, and that's what you believe. The characteristics that you have as a student from Palestine, living in Gaza, being an activist, is something that just makes me. I was really quiet during the interview because I was paying a great deal of attention to your words. And I think that everybody who's watching this interview now, they're gonna say, this guy is strong and he will keep being strong. And I think most importantly, you are a teacher as well. You are a great friend. Thank you so much for doing this interview, for telling your story so openly and so vividly. The only thing that I have to finish this interview with is never give up. That's something that you
Subhanallah.
have to have in your mind and on your mind. Okay? Never give up, no matter what. Thank you so much. I am so, so proud to have recorded
Can,
this interview with you. Thank you so much.
can I say one last thing, Mr.
Of
Rod?
course, of course.
Yes. You know, many people don't see how great is social media platforms.
Mhm,
But for people here in Gaza, or let me talk about myself. For me,
mhm,
you know, most people travel to see the world. And for
mhm,
Gazans, we open social media to see or to travel abroad. I've never got the chance to go anywhere in this place. Like
mhm,
even we have like 27,000 kilometers. I had never go far than this. But
mhm,
when I started like in Hello Talk um, app and other social media platforms,
mhm.
I feel like I'm traveling when I talk to someone from abroad to his country. So now I'm
Yes.
traveling to your country, Mr. Rod. And every time I talk with someone else from the USA or even from the Arab countries who are outside, I feel that I am
Yeah.
in that country because you know
Mhm,
the country from its people, and I
mhm,
meet people. So I can
mhm,
see how great are people in your country, Mr. Rod, because I can see you, how
mhm.
great you are. So yeah,
Yeah. There's a Brazilian song where the composer writes, teach me how to walk without my feet on the ground.
mm,
And that's one of the most beautiful things that I've ever listened in my life. I agree with you. That's exactly what I see when I wouldn't say teaching you guys on Hello Talk. I am guiding you to give you the encouragement and the idea of never giving up, no matter what happens. Remember that the sun will shine tomorrow anyway. We just have to be strong and keep going through and getting through. And I think that's what you do every day. That's why I think you are so great, and I think this interview was so awesome, you know.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
and
much.
I hope that everybody at home really enjoyed. This is my friend and student Ahmed. I learned how to say his name the hard way because I needed
Finally,
to learn. And it was a pleasure. It was a great interview. I hope you guys liked the interview as much as I did. See you next week. Bye
see you.
bye. See you. Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, it's Rod's friend here, Gino from Real Everyday English. Sorry for interrupting your video. I just want to make a quick recommendation that you subscribe to Rodrigo's channel. He's an amazing guy, he's so humble, he's so dedicated, and he creates absolutely fantastic content. See you people soon. Bye bye. God bless.